If you weren't entertained, then I don't know what can entertain you, because Saturday night at packed out 96,000 Wembley Stadium showed you why heavyweight boxing is the very pinnacle of combat sports. That's right, we are talking about Anthony Joshua getting dethroned on... When I say dethroned, Dubois had the belt, but it felt like AJ had the belt. Him walking out second, pro AJ crowd there. That was just one of... I was watching it live, I watched it back a couple of times now. More than a couple. That was just insane. Certainly my favourite fight of the year. Just absolutely unreal. The fireworks and everything in the beginning as well. It was fantastic. I think that's one of the best production sets I've seen at Wembley. Oh my god, so much to delve into. But yeah, if you welcome back to the Baker Spirit channel. Before I go ahead, yes, we're going to talk about that fight. What's next for both fighters? Make sure you smash that like and subscribe button down below, and let's get into it. Now, I don't know about you, but I grew up idolizing Anthony Joshua. Like, I remember when he was in school, I think I was in like year 7 or year 8, when he knocked out Klitschko, and like all the kids in the class the next day were like talking about it and stuff, and was like, wow, he's going to be the next big thing. And so what he's done, I know loads of people say this, but what he's done for British boxing really is incredible. And when you think of his impact, I'll just give you an example of how, like, a ripple effect basically of his rise has positively affected British boxing. So obviously back then, that was like when Matchroom were in the ascendancy. They weren't really where they are now. They're still on the come up. Obviously Eddie Hearn, Matchroom with Sky Sports then. Eddie Hearn really looking for that one marquee fighter to really announce his stable really on the stage, and himself as a serious promoter, because obviously now he is in America, but he would have had aspirations to promote in America back then. And so by Anthony Joshua knocking out Klitschko in that firefight and going on to be a dominant world champion, albeit he never fought Deontay Wilder. My god, that fight, that's never going to happen. That's going to be one of the most biggest fights ever. I mean, a lot of people would say this, that he provided the springboard for Matchroom to be where it is today. Matchroom now, like I said, one of the biggest boxing promotions in the United Kingdom, and obviously in the world. But in the United Kingdom, they've put on loads of great fights since then. So then that added another big British boxing promotion alongside Frank Warren. And then obviously as Eddie Hearn and Matchroom grew, then they decided to go to the Zone. That left a space for a new one. Who's in there now? Ben Shalom, boxer. It's like a ripple effect, you know. If it wasn't for Anthony Joshua, Matchroom might have never left Sky Sports, and then there would only be 2, you know, big British boxing promotions, I guess, if you look at it like that. Now there are 3 with Boxer. I know Frank and Eddie are making fun of Ben Shalom all the time, but that's because there's a reason. That is a very good boxing promotion. I've been to a couple of their shows now. Really good, very much on the rise. So, and you've got to think of all the fighters and all the undercards from all 3 of those promotions. You've got, you know, rising, you know, the stadium idea and just everything. I know Anthony Joshua, you know, I'm sure he wasn't the one who came up all on his own to, you know, to fight in Wembley, but he was just a massive part of that. You know, obviously boxing's nothing without the fighter. That being said, it was so painful. The reasons I give then made it so much harder for me to watch him get kind of mauled by Daniel Dubois. We've got to remember, Anthony Joshua he's 35 in October. Daniel Dubois is a young, hungry bull. He's 27. And the biggest takeaway, I told this to my dad as well, is that Anthony Joshua, he just looked older to me. He just looked, I don't say old, because obviously he's still shredded and he'll be in good condition for the rest of his life. Like, he's an A1 athlete, but I just thought he looked noticeably older compared to someone like Daniel Dubois, who's obviously like 7 or 8 years younger, but so much so that, you know, his IQ just wasn't enough to, you know, fend off Daniel Dubois. That's my biggest takeaway from AJ's loss. I saw the clip from Shane McGuigan, from Ben Davison's corner advice before that round 5, saying, "Oh, it's some warrior shit. Roll the dice." I'm thinking, I know I've never had a boxing fight, but I'm like, don't roll the dice. You guys getting more. Just try and cling on and do whatever you can to just, like Shane McGuigan said, make it for your next 2 rounds. But they didn't. He went for it, and to be fair, he did catch him with a right hand pull counter. But he fell right. But Daniel Dubois, very composed, just stay in the corner. Once he came in, but right hand over the top. Just unbelievable, that moment as well. The reactions from everyone as well has been insane. Anthony Joshua, that is going to be a really, really hard one for him to take, because he was expected to win this. It was like a kind of like a homecoming, I guess, for him back at Wembley. To make sure everyone knows that he's back at the top in front of a massive crowd. So that is going to be very hard for him to swallow. Him always going about, wanting to become a 3-time world champion. That seems very far away now. You never know, but a year's a long time in boxing. A year is a very, very long time. So we don't know, but I'm just absolutely gutted for him, because he's very competitive, and he's very good post-fight, I thought, very classy. And then we go on to the hungry young bull, Daniel Dubois. I've called him a young hungry bull 3 times now, and that's just what he was to me. He was just an absolute wrecking ball, no respect, took centre of the ring as soon as he could. When he knocked down Anthony Joshua in the first round, he was creeping forward, trying to get an extra yards from the referee. It is unbelievable from watching him. Yes, I know the low blow thing. I've gone over that before, honest to God. But he got soundly out, as the Joshua did exactly the same. Got soundly outboxed by Alexander Usyk. Although he did put in a very good performance, and I actually think more of a, even though he got finished and AJ didn't, I actually thought we put together a better performance than AJ did, in particularly more than AJ's first fight with Usyk, and to see the difference in mentality, it's just unbelievable. And that is because Don Charles, perfect coach for him, and obviously his dad's in the corner as well. He's just found the perfect team, basically. Much how like we thought Anthony Joshua, and he still has, I think, has found the right team for him and Ben Davison. I finally think Daniel Dubois has found the right team for him and Don Charles. They're a massive part. I really don't think he'd be anywhere without them. Just unbelievable attitude. And I'm going to say something a bit crazy, right? And I'm not saying he's Mike Tyson or he's going to be as good as Mike Tyson. But my dad said this as well, and I completely agree, because I was thinking as well, literally as I was watching him punch AJ from pillar to post in that fight, he did remind me of Mike Tyson. I don't know if anyone else thought that. It was like, yes, I know he'd hold his arms a bit like out like that with his elbows out, but it was just the way he was coming forwards, the lack of respect, the urgency to get Anthony Joshua out of there, but his physique as well. He's not lean like AJ and tall, although he is still massive. Don't get me wrong, but obviously I think AJ had like an inch or 2 height advantage over Dubois. Like, it's just very compact. Huge shoulders, just absolutely solid. Like I said, AJ's a bit more leaner, and he just reminded me of Mike Tyson. Please comment in below if you think I'm crazy, but he just really reminded me. I know I wasn't around to watch Mike Tyson, but obviously I've watched loads of his old fights, and the way he was just going around there, beating him up, chasing around, giving him no respect, massive urgency to knock him out. No second thought. It just really, the way his hand positions, just everything, just really reminded me of him. Obviously, his personality and his family situation and all of that is completely different. I understand, but I remember, Anthony Joshua. The whole thing was like, oh, is he going to be like Britain's version of Mike Tyson or whatever? Because he's, doing all these crazy knockouts. this, if we, I don't know, you know, we should never want a version of Mike Tyson ourselves, because Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson. You know, try and make your own, you know, Anthony Joshua or whatever. Like, try and make your own thing. That's just for me anyway. But this is the Daniel Dubois. I'm telling you now, he is more of a Mike Tyson ilk, in my opinion, than Anthony Joshua is. No, not in terms of personality and his extracurricular activities and all of that, but just the way he fought in the last couple of fights, I think, is Mike Tyson-esque. And that could be, and if he continues fighting the way he does, he is going to take the world by storm. And it's crazy because obviously he's not a massive talker. You know, Don Giles does a lot of the talking for him, and Frank Warren, obviously. Like, he's not a big talker, but I loved at the end of the fight saying, "Are you not entertained?" I love that, because he, you know, he doesn't. He's a bit like me. He's got a bit of a stutter, right? I think so. Like, I know it's so much harder to express how you're feeling sometimes, but you fucking nailed that post-fight, you know, and God bless you all and all that. I fucking loved it. So, really sad about Anthony Joshua, but I'm glad another British guy is at the forefront of heavyweight world boxing. He's going to be a superstar if he isn't already, and I think the world is his oyster. I really think that. Even at every Usyk rematch, Frank Warren said he wants that. I need to see that, because that version will give Alexander Usyk problems. I'm telling you, and I love Usyk. I'm a massive Usyk fan. You know, absolutely, I love the guy. He's one of my favourite fighters ever, not just boxing, just ever. But Daniel Dubois, like that, is going to give him problems. I've got no doubt in my mind. So, yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this fight. Where does Anthony Joshua go next? I haven't even spoken about that. That might be time for another video, but I'm lost. I mean, if Fury loses it to Usyk again, I reckon do that and then retire and call it, because he took a lot of damage in that fight. He made a shit ton of money. You've set up your family for generations, generational wealth. Just chill and be a coach. You know, I don't think I've said it, but I think Anthony Joshua would be a fantastic coach, just because of how eager he is to learn. He's like a sponge. He absorbs information. You know, and obviously I always see on his story when he's back at his amateur boxing club in Finchley. I think he'd be really think he'd be a fantastic coach. So maybe do something like that. I don't know. Yeah, I just think Fury fight maybe if he loses, and then that's it, because he's a hero. I don't want to see like when Anderson Silva was getting. No, I don't want to see that with Anthony Joshua. And Daniel Dubois, like I said, world's his oyster. I just think he's one of those guys that needs to keep fighting. He needs to get in the rhythm. I think if you can, fight before the end of the year. Joseph Parker was there. He called him out. Fucking love to see it. I think this version does beat Joseph Parker. I really do. You saw how Joseph Parker struggled a little bit with the physicality of Joe Joyce. Daniel Dubois is far more athletic than Joe Joyce, far quicker. I think he struggled with that. I'd love to see that fight. And then, yeah, fight the winner of Fury Usyk. Why not? Why not? Again, become an undisputed champion. Imagine Daniel got undisputed. I can't believe that. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below who both these guys should be fighting next. Yeah, who do you think should be fighting next? What's next for both guys? And I'll see you in the next one.